Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF and Microwave Update Series. I'm Pat Hindle. I'm here with Justin Weirwein, Chief Marketing and Culture Officer at Quantic Electronics. Welcome back to the show, Justin.
Thanks, Pat. I'm real happy to be here.
So in this episode, we're going to take a look at our 5G and IMS issue with May, and it's our biggest one of the year. And I really want to thank our advertisers for all their support this year. It's a 200-page issue, so very hefty there. Lots of technical information and product information and stuff about the event. I put together the cover story. It's about the design of a 5G small cell for FR1 frequencies. And the small cell forum put together this really nice report about a standardized modular approach to small cell design, kind of like Open RAN for networks. They want to apply that to small cells. So that was great to take a look at the RF architecture that they came up with, both for FDD and TDD designs, and so I think it's a very educational piece. And then there are some other articles on 5G too, since that's a theme. We have measuring emissions for 5G base stations with beamforming, which is difficult to do, and that's by NARDA STS. We also had a perspective piece about whether terahertz will be used in 6G standards, so that's an interesting piece to check out. And finally, we had the design of microwave and millimeter wave GaN high-power amplifiers from Wolfspeed. And since it's our IMS issue, there's a lot of coverage about the event in there. We have messages from all the chairs, so that's the IMS conference, RFIC, and RFTAG. And then there's a big insert from IMS, and it's really great because it does a whole overview and highlights of the conference and exhibition. And then we have an extensive new products section so you can see what's going on in the exhibition. So were there a couple articles that caught your eye in the issue?
Yeah, Pat, there were a couple of articles that actually I thought were very interesting. The first, the perfect HF frequency receiver by Synergy, and secondly, a D-band radar for VNA-like S-parameter measurements by 2Pi Labs.
Yeah, so there's a really low frequency application, very high frequency.
Exactly.
So.
Those really stuck out to me as being two great articles.
So we had a special guest in the studio today, Rob Russell. He's the VP of Satellite Solutions for Vicor. He joined us to discuss the satellite market. So let's take a look at a clip from that now. So what is so important about the power system design for LEO and MEO satellites?
So if you take a step back, in general for the design, if you're deploying hundreds or thousands of satellites, you are now looking at orders of magnitude over what's been done before. So you have to really change not only the power system, but the overall system. You have significant challenges with cost. So the cost of the satellites are coming down an order of magnitude at least over legacy type satellites. You have the bandwidth requirement. So in addition to driving down the cost through lower launch costs, smaller satellites, less expensive components, you really need to increase that bandwidth. Because if you're SpaceX and Kuiper vying to get as many satellites as you can up into orbit, the governments are restricting it. So they're kind of doling it out. So you want each satellite to maximize the amount of bandwidth that can be created. So that sort of dynamic really leads customers, developers of satellites to create the most technologically advanced satellite they can within those cost constraints. And that's a big driver for everything that they do.
So it's great to chat with Rob Russell about the satellite market, and we'll be following up with him in the future. So turning to the news, a really interesting item that caught my eye was Ubiqua is teaming up with Movandi to deploy millimeter wave repeaters on the top of streetlights. And I think this is a brilliant idea because it really makes them easy to deploy, and they can plan the distances based on all these streetlights or what they need for coverage. And what I didn't know is there's a photocell outlet on top of the light, so you can just plug this unit into the top. It's literally a 5-minute installation, so I think it's a really good way to deploy millimeter wave in a low-cost way that will meet the needs of millimeter wave propagation characteristics.
I really love the pun on brilliant idea. Really good, really good.
It's brilliant. And so there also was a couple of test and measurement news items. Keysight released their flagship vector signal generator, and that's a 4-channel unit that goes to 54 gigahertz and has extension to 110 gigahertz. And the performance of this is spectacular. It has up to 5 gigahertz of bandwidth, and the phase noise is as low as minus 185 dBc per hertz at 10 kilohertz offset. So amazing performance. And then Rohde & Schwartz acquired the Technology Academy, which is a UK-based training company, and that will really extend their online and physical training capabilities, so it'll be good to have that too. So Quantic had some news of their own.
Yeah, we just announced last week a new president and COO, Ross Sealfun. He comes to us from another electronics company in the industry. We're very excited to have him on board. He brings a ton of experience, a high caliber individual, and he'll help us as we continue to work to build and grow our business, and he'll work very closely with our management teams at each of the businesses.
That sounds great. You're really filling out the team there.
Yeah, we've had a very aggressive last 12 months.
So turning to events, IMS is coming up June 19th to the 24th in Denver, Colorado. There's a few items I wanted to highlight about the event that are new this year. They have a systems forum and pavilion this year for the first time. And so in the forum, they'll have different subject matters each day, and they'll have talks on that. And then there'll be a small systems pavilion in the exhibition, so that's kind of cool. And another item, they've had the RF boot camp for many years, but now they're adding a quantum boot camp. So if you want to learn about quantum technology as an RF and microwave engineer, this is definitely a good thing to check out. And there's also the ham radio social. That really caught my eye. They're doing a fox hunt. So they're going to give everybody, breaking up into teams, a direction-finding antenna, and they're going to have to hunt around the facility for a couple of these RF sources. So I think that's going to be a really fun thing.
That's a great idea. That's really interesting. That's
and
cool.
then lastly, there's a 9-hole mini golf course on the exhibition floor sponsored by XMA Corporation. So if you complete the 9 holes and turn in your card, I think you'll be eligible for a prize. I think they have really added some interesting things this year, and I think it'll work out well.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to it.
So how about Quantic? You guys have bought up to 12 companies now.
Yep.
I think at least a few of them will be exhibiting at IMS. So what are your plans?
Yeah, so for the past few years, we've had about 7 of our companies participate in IMS. This year, we are going to have them all in one location and a Quantic pavilion, which we're super excited about. We'll be launching our new brand. We're also very excited about that. During the event, we'll be showcasing a range of products from hybrid mimics, modules, and subsystems to new amplifiers, attenuators, high-power switches, resistive foil, and capacitors. I'm really excited about our capacitors as well. We're going to be showing our wet tantalum capacitors at the show, along with some new high-frequency capacitors. Our team is real excited about it this year, Pat. I know the last 3 years have been a challenge for everybody in the industry, so having our full team there and getting a chance to see everybody back at the show will be super excited. Everyone I talk to seems very excited for the show, and I'd love for everybody to stop by the booth and say hello, including yourself.
Yeah, I will.
All right, look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be great to see everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we'll be back this year, full IMS.
Well, that wraps up this episode. I'd like to thank our sponsors, RFMW, which is a pure play RF and microwave distributor, and also Vicor. They make high-performance power modules that ease the design of power systems. Thanks for watching, and join us next time on Frequency Matters.